Hey everyone, we are Barcelona bound for MWC, and I'm delighted to have a tech and IT giant, HCL Tech, that's been a major force in telecom and beyond for many decades. Anil, how are you?
Great, great, and good to be on this session.
Well, thanks for joining. I'd love for you to introduce yourself, your team, and mission within HCL Tech, and how do you describe HCL Tech these days?
First of all, my name is Anil Ganjoo. I lead the global telecom, media, and technology industries at HCL Tech. Something about HCL Tech, really, we have been an organization which has been very strong, engineering, network, and IT services, but now have transitioned to be a very strategic, more of an IP platforms and a AI-led transformation partner in today's intelligence economy.
Brilliant. And tell us about that journey. That's quite a departure from, some of the other business models out there. What differentiates your approach in today's marketplace?
Well, actually, our foundation was always very deep in engineering. And
Hmm.
early days, we've been working with networks, satellite communication. We actually pioneered remote infrastructure management also. And that whole engineering DNA has really helped us build credibility of delivering scale, reliability, and zero failure execution. Now, as the industry evolved itself, we expanded beyond infrastructure into cloud native platforms, network modernization, data, and digital experiences. So it was all about helping clients in driving velocity, efficiency, and growth, and so not just cost reduction. Now, today, we are in a very AI native platform and IP led phase of our journey. We've done some strategic acquisitions like the Communications Technology Group and Telco Solutions from HPE, which has brought in very mission critical IPs in the OSS, BSS, and subscriber data, which is essentially supporting about a billion plus devices globally. Now, we've also expanded our data intelligence portfolio with our recent acquisitions of Jaspersoft, Wobby, Xenia,
Mm.
and now we offer a unified end-to-end data and analytics platform, which is enabling AI-powered natural language analytics on governed data. So this is allowing us to operate across the full stack from networks and platforms to data and AI. And that's how we are truly differentiating, because what we are seeing is there is a convergence taking place of networks, platforms, data, including silicon. And in that intersection, we are extremely uniquely positioned when we take a more of an end-to-end approach and work with our clients for driving business outcomes, which are things like customer experience improvement, speed to market, resilience, and of course, EBITDA improvement in today's time.
Brilliant. Speaking of that, there's a lot of discussion around 5G monetization or lack thereof in some cases, platform convergence, content digitization. What are the trends you're seeing where you're able to deliver measurable impacts and results in this space?
Well, I would exactly all three that you referred to are operating in at different levels of effectiveness and impact in the industry, different velocities. Platform convergence is a highly tangible impact for today. Across the industry, clients are consolidating OSS, BSS, cloud platforms, and the whole digital architecture to finally reduce the complexity. They need to lower the cost to serve the customer, and they need to substantially accelerate product launches. So we are at AI at scale being deployed, which is working against data systems and processes of convergence to drive this effect. And that's the platform convergence, level of results that we are seeing. On the 5G monetization, it's still selective. It's real, but still selective. It's not just the ARPU of the consumer uplift, but people are looking at more of enterprise use cases, private 5G, network slicing, fixed wireless access. Many telcos have deployed it. and the edge enablement of the industry solutions, which is getting rolled out in the manufacturing, logistics, ports, campuses, wherever 5G is creating measurable value, especially when you combine it with AI and cloud. The consumer monetization still remains a little bit of a longer term play. And then finally, in the media sector, it's content digitization. It's active, but the value is coming from the intelligence and not just digitization of it. So the needle is moving. The real impact is generated by Gen AI, which is used to turn large content archives into more searchable, reusable, and personalized assets. So that's really improving the engagement, reducing consumer churn or customer churn, and accelerating the monetization, particularly in the media and streaming business of the TMT sector.
That's fantastic. Yeah, a lot of media companies are navigating a brave new world in terms of streaming economics and audience behavior and the demographics. We've seen what's been going on here with Netflix and Paramount and others, even today, news. Behind the scenes, how can the sort of engineering excellence and innovation with data and AI really help the media players stay competitive in this new kind of converged world?
Yeah, see, there's a lot of talk about AI. While AI is the headline, quite frankly, Evan, the real transformation is happening when it's embedded across the complete entire technology stack. And that's the fundamental shift from the siloed technology investment more to the unified AI-infused technology fabric, which is where cloud, edge, data platforms, and a modernized network is operating as one single architecture. So this is our belief in HCL Tech is AI is the brain, but things like cloud, data, edge, and network is really forms the nervous system of the body. And cloud is providing scale and agility through cloud native and API-driven platforms. Network modernization is through virtualization, Open RAN, and network APIs, and which is turning the infrastructure into highly programmable, monetizable asset. And finally, edge is bringing in the latency into the equation, which is enabling real-time use cases. We talked about smart manufacturing, video analytics, or even autonomous operations. Data, since you talked about specifically, is the platform. Data platforms tie them all together. And we are seeing a significant shift from the traditional reporting platforms to more real-time intelligence layers that's unifying the network, the customer, the product, and the operations data. And this is really interestingly leading to dynamic pricing, predictive maintenance or churn prevention, and then the hyper-personalization experiences at planet scale. So it is what is changing the complete business model with AI orchestrating this entire stack end to end, and particularly with agentic AI, environments are becoming self-optimizing. The networks are able to tune themselves, data pipes that can self-heal, and finally the cloud environments that can automatically govern the cost as well as the security, all aspects which are critical in today's times. And the integration layer is what really compounds the value of all this full stack. So our proposition is owning and operating across this full stack, from engineering to cloud to data to IP and AI, which is helping clients move from this erstwhile experimentation phase to now production scale, outcome-driven business models. Examples are network as a service, platform ecosystems, and AI-powered digital products.
Yeah, it's a fascinating time. Of course, the telecom operators themselves are striving to become technology platforms and not just channels for big tech companies, and not just offer plain vanilla kind of network services. How are they making progress, and what distinguishes success versus failure with these operators around the world?
Very good question, because this journey of telco to a techco is what is being talked about, but we are seeing it happening in a big way. I think the lines are getting blurred. between a techco and a telco, services and software, and connectivity and intelligence. So the big shift is taking place of connectivity moving towards more and more intelligence because organizations, boards are asking questions about, is it driving revenue? Is it reducing structural costs? Is it improving customer loyalty? And thereby, anything which is AI, cloud, and 5G related only matters if it's tying to specifically monetization or churn reduction or fundamentally improving the operating efficiency. So this pivot of techco from a telco is all about moving away from this linear model of selling minutes or megabytes and becoming far more platform-led, product-aligned operating models. And so we are seeing this, telcos now moving into network APIs, providing offerings like anything as a service, leveraging ecosystem partners, and really monetizing assets that are talked about as netco to fiberco to towerco as mainstream. And then we are smartly leveraging or thinking about leveraging AI as not just as a feature, but really embedding it as a part of the whole operating backbone itself. Network automation, predictive maintenance, real-time billing and marketing, and agentic AI, not just for recommending actions, but executing them autonomously. And that's where 5G, edge, and planet scale business cannot be done through just human-only operations. And that's really what many smart telcos are looking at what they have and how can they leverage. And really, they have to start thinking and are moving towards thinking like a tech company, which is highly product-oriented.
Wow, really well said. And clients' expectations, your clients, I think, are increasingly expecting business results, not just services, and really not just SaaS licenses or whatever they might be buying. How have your engagement models at HCL Tech evolved to deliver that sort of outcome that clients now expect?
Great question, Evan, because you're right. Clients are very clear today. They are not buying effort. They're buying business outcomes. They're buying business outcomes. And this plays very well for us because, HCL many years back looked at differentiating itself from an input-based pricing model to an output and an outcome-based pricing model. And that's really how we love engaging with our clients because it helps build long-term sustainable partnerships which are highly business value centric. So our whole model, which is aligned towards your question, is on three core pillars. It's got to be solution-led approach, which is where we are bringing in industry-ready platforms and IPs, which with as little vendor lock-ins, which is what has been happening in the past, instead of the old school bespoke services model. Second, clients are looking for skin in the game, where our success or the partner's success is directly tied to their business performance and not just delivery milestones. And then they're looking for transparency. Anything which is AI-enabled outcome also needs to have transparency throughout, which is measurable continuously and not retrospectable. And it's linked to KPIs, which are business outcome KPIs like customer retention, faster product launches, billing accuracy, reduced failouts, network uptime, improved customer experiences like NPS. So the outcome-based model, we're actually heavily also moving towards platform-led managed services and more importantly, gain share, because that's where you are putting your skin in the game and getting a risk-reward based operating model. So clients are loving that. And interestingly, AI is playing for us a central role in our strategy. We have significant platforms like AI Force, AI Foundry, and AI Factories, which are embedded in the intelligence of directly delivering to our customers these predictable outcomes, automating of these operations, and the performance visibility in real time, which is also driving the confidence of the accountability and governance associated in these kind of partnerships.
Wow, that's incredible. And partnerships, as you just said, more critical than ever. new services might require a dozen different partners from hyperscalers to application developers, folks with domain expertise in like healthcare and manufacturing, all required to deliver meaningful outcomes. How do you work with partners, both existing and new?
So while everyone works with partners, our growth in HCL Tech has been openly said is delivered the most based on a very partner-centric approach that we have had way back in time. Our approach to partnership is, while we work with several partners, the approach is not just integrating the partner's technology, it is also co-creating with the partners, industrializing solutions with partners, and then scaling them to real business outcomes for clients. So that's the approach we are taking with our partners. And then over these principles and over several times, we work with several partners in co-creating, integrating very, very specific business industry use cases. And then we bring the combination of the power of the partner and HCL Tech for our customers, and thereby, of course, repeat it at scale rather than the traditional model. Now, we work with all core partners. On one side, all the three hyperscalers, AWS, Microsoft, and Google. On the other side, big AI and platform leaders like NVIDIA, OpenAI, ServiceNow, SAP, and the leading network OEMs. But where we are bringing the uniqueness is HCL Tech's own engineering depth that I spoke of, IPs, and the domain expertise that we are bringing, which means deep understanding of the client and the industry pain points, and our labs in which we are building a lot of IPs and MVPs. That's what our partners are seeing as a big differentiator. I'll give you an example. With NVIDIA, we are now co-building physical AI and AI factory solutions. And these are bringing accelerated computing, robotics, edge intelligence into real-world enterprise environments. That's based on a lot of work that HCL is doing ourselves internally on physical AI. Similarly, Microsoft, we are integrating HCL's AI Force with Microsoft Copilot, wherein we are looking at turning contact centers into revenue-generating models, leveraging agentic AI for customer engagement. And with Google Cloud, we have even launched industry-ready agentic solutions directly on the marketplace. So we are moving clients from pilots to production faster, leveraging our ecosystem partners, industrializing it, embedding it into things like OSS and BSS in the telco world, networks, data platforms, and the whole operating model, and tying it to KPIs, which customers are wanting a partner to bring to the table. As I said, things like revenue growth, cost optimization, and the speed to market. And of course, HCL beautifully acts as the glue and the orchestrator of this ecosystem across hyperscalers, platforms, and AI product companies.
Wow, fantastic. That was quite a vision you just shared. It's always fun at MWC to get a peek into where the industry is going over the course of the year. What technology or trends do you think will accelerate maybe faster than most people expect? Or what are you anticipating might be a dark horse winner on the tech stage this year?
Okay, no surprises. The no surprises part are things like, agentic AI, which is already being talked about. I think what will really happen is convergence or 3 or 4 of these big trends, like across AI, across networks, infrastructure, and the operating model change itself. So I think the speed of convergence of that is really what will be the big trend. Agentic AI moving into core operations is definitely something which is leading towards autonomous managing networks. Everyone is wanting it. It's just now, how do we bring it in real production life at scale? Customer operations, software engineering, and business workflows. Next, I believe, is the whole making AI native and autonomous networks becoming the mainstream part of it for optimizing the performance of the network, things like energy usage, and the monetization in real time. edge AI and enterprise 5G monetization has been talked about, but now I think with all of this and AI playing a significant role in it, I believe that will come to light much more than what has been talked about finally in the past. I think what you will see, interestingly, I believe, is the whole and not so great anticipated growth of custom silicon in AI inference. I think while silicon in AI inference has definitely been there, but custom silicon is definitely being looked at by many large firms, particularly because standard GPU economics don't seem to be working in many real-time world, use cases. And if we need to drive rapid, scale adoption, it needs custom silicon with deep domain-centric customization at a silicon level. And that's another very unique thing of custom silicon engineering that HCL has because of being involved in this space for several years. And then finally, services as a software model itself is disrupting the erstwhile SaaS with AI agents, being there to deliver things autonomously, fundamentally changing the whole business model. I would think these things will be seen faster than what normally would have happened.
Fantastic. Super exciting. I'm looking forward to HCL Tech's presence at MWC. I see you're at Hall 2, stand 2E19. I'm sure you'll be there. You're probably already booked up for most of the week. I'm seeing themes around AI native telco and Gen AI service transformation, autonomous networks. I see you have many demos going on and discussions and forums at the booth. What are you excited about above and beyond that?
And I'm super excited that it is, and which is why I'm staying back for a couple of more days for spillovers of meetings that clients are waiting and wanting to engage. I think MWC this year is less about what's possible. It is more about how soon can we operationalize and monetize what has now been proven as pilots, which is why this phase is being talked about from AI pilots to AI P&Ls. That's one thing I'm very excited about because everyone wants to look at embedding AI in production and the OSS, BSS, network, operations, all of the above. They are talking about maturity of the API economy, which is another big thing of that has been talked about from the erstwhile demos to now really turning connectivity into platforms. And then finally, the convergence of telecom infrastructure and AI factories that we spoke about, turning them into intelligent infrastructure. And that's where the whole network, cloud, edge, data, silicon, everything comes together. That's what I'm excited about because MWC has the best of the organizations across telecom, media, and tech converging, looking at it from an end to end, and now looking at organizations who have the depth and the breadth of all these pieces to be put together as they're looking at not renovating, but actually rebuilding. And for us, it's nothing better could have been happening.
Well, it's an exciting time. It's an exciting week. Thanks for giving us a preview and an introduction to the amazing work you're doing at HCL Tech. Appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Looking forward to meeting you and seeing everyone.
Likewise. And thanks everyone for listening, watching, sharing, meeting us at the booth in Hall 2 and checking out our TV show, techimpact.tv on Bloomberg Television and Fox Business. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Anil.
Thank you.